Welcome to video lecture series on optical communication. I am Kanakadurga from St. Peter's Engineering College, working as an associate professor in EC department. I am discussing on lasers, how the structure, how we are going to be used for as a optical sources in the optical communication. The outline of the content are working block diagram of optical communication. What is a laser? What is a laser communication? Laser in many fields, applications of it. Laser communication with respect to the semiconductor type of materials, how the semiconductor laser works. Disadvantages of laser with respect to over other optical sources. So working block diagram of optical communication, if you observe, mainly we requires the first, normally the person is going to give the information, or speaking person will be the audio signal that we have to go for converting with respect to the pulses, all these things. But we are going to concentrate, already we have discussed all the things, we have to concentrate on this part. This is going to be take the light sources. What does the light sources will do? It going to take it out the electrical energy. That electrical energy is going to be converted to the light energy. That is the main thing we have to concentrate on, that how this is going to be works with respect to the how it going to convert that electrical energies to the light energy by the laser. And normally we already knows that the coder, the information will be the physical phenomena of audio signal. The coder are going to be converted to electrical of the thing, that will be given to the light source. The electrical energy will be converted to light energy, and it will be passed out to the optical fiber. At the receiving session, the detector detects the light signals, and it goes for decoding purpose, like we have to go for conversion of electrical energy to the physical phenomena nature of the signal, and it will be given to the receiving person. So in this we are concentrating on light source session with respect to the laser. We have another light source of devices like LED also, but we are concentrating in this talk with respect to the laser. So what is meant by a laser? Light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. How it works, why this got this name, we will discuss on all this. Light, remember, laser is nothing but light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So if you consider the first letters L, A, S, E, R, that's why they have given the name of laser. So over in the previous 1960s of laser has been invented, and has been used for defense, for the weapons of perfect shooting of enemies, and when it comes to the medical applications, major part of the treatment which has been with the finding of the either tumor, all the things they have used for that. And lasers are for mechanical purposes like drilling, welding, cutting, hardening. Another one with respect to the civil engineering purpose, they are using for surveying on the lands. So what's the laser communication does? So how we will do the communication with the laser? Light amplification process, how it goes for that, we are going to concentrate on this. Laser communication or a wireless which happens through the atmosphere, they work similarly with fiber optic links, but other thing is the communication transfers with the help of laser beams through the free space. Simple, when the light has been emitted, the energy that will be passed from the atmospheric sessions to the earth the light has been reaching it, traveling through free space, has a laser beams. So actually when they are going to be traveled for longer distance, they has to lose the energy with respect to the distance traveling of attenuation property, all the things. They has to lose the energy of light. That's why even though we are getting the light rays, we are receiving to the earth. So how we can use them in terms of a communication, how we can able to use them for communication purpose of lasers. The information is passed through the laser beam in the atmosphere with respect to either ultraviolet region or infrared region. All the regions, normally if you are going to use the remote controllers, all these works on the infrared region of the things for ranging of the wavelengths for communication. Even though you are going to press the remote channel button, we cannot able to see the light rays passing through from remote to the TV channel, so that we are changing our we can able to change our channels. So we cannot, those are infrared, those are invisible to the eye. That's why they are going to call it as a infrared region. Through that also we are coming, that can be generated by the lasers for communication purpose. And since the infrared rays we cannot able to detect by the human eye, since we cannot, these are invisible, and decoding is also not a simple process for any means for when you are sending the information of light through IR session. Normally the lasers are structured elements with respect to we can able to design them by using the semiconducting materials. Those type of lasers we are going to call it as a semiconductor lasers. So semiconductor lasers, how we can able to design them, what are the materials we are going to use in it. Semiconductor lasers, we can use N-type and P-type of semiconductor materials. We are going to use, already we know that what is N-type and P-type with respect to electronic devices. N-type material having majority carriers goes for electrons. When it comes to the P-type, the majority carriers goes for holes. So when they are going to be recombined or in the process, then they are going to exist lasering phenomena. We are going to discuss on that. And heavily doped of material of mainly we have to use such a way that the material has having a property in order to release the energy has in terms of a photon. Then only we can able to get that light energy for communication purpose. Otherwise, if you are going to use the other type of materials like silica, it's going to generate or release the energy in terms of a thermal energy, nothing but heat. We cannot able to get the light type of energy. So what type of material we are going to use in order to generate energy of light or else conversion of energy of light, going to be here we are going to use the material has been gallium arsenide. So we are going to use the gallium arsenide of the material, mainly we are going to use for the lasers as a semiconductor material in order to generate in order to convert the energy, or we are going to get the energy of light. So how it goes for the working principle of it, how it works, whenever there existing a population of inversion from one low level layer to the high level layer, whenever there existing a population inversion, when they are moving from higher energy level to lower energy level, they are going to release the energy in terms of a photonic energy. If it has to release the energy in terms of a photonic energy, then only we can say that the light optical sources. That's why this will be called as a Laser phenomena. Working principle of laser and working, we have to see the things and this. So what's the working principle of a laser? We will discuss. According to the Bohr structure model, the electrons are going to be revolve around the nucleus. This is a nucleus and they are going to revolve around that. The outer band of energy will be called as a conduction and inner will be valency and middle state. For that better understanding purpose, I am considering a layers. I am assuming E1 is the lowest energy level and E2 will be the middle energy level. E3 will be the highest energy level. So when normally the electrons are present in the lower energy levels. Here I am assuming the 4 electrons. I am calling it as a N1. So what happens when the external energy is going to be occur or the external energy is available for these electrons are going to be acquire that energy and they are going to jump from lower energy levels to the higher energy levels. So they are having a probability to jump to E2 if the shorter energy is going to be available. Normally the energy is going to be highly available only. They will jump from E1 to E3. In this higher energy levels, the electrons cannot be able to stable for that. For a shorter time only they are going to be present. And these electrons has to jump from higher energy levels to the lower energy levels. Here they having a probability in order to jump to E2 or it can jump to E1. If it is going to jump from E3 to E2, what happens? They are going to release only short energy, right? Less energy. When it jumps for E1, it will have a higher energy. So short and less energy will be there. So this will release the energy in terms of a heat. That will be called as a thermal energy. So it has been jumping from higher to here by releasing the heat energy. Next case, when the supplied, we are going to supply the energy. Another case, it once again goes for jump to E3 and again it comes to here. Okay, and nothing but there should be here absence will be there, that will be called as a hole. 2 holes are going to be present since 2 electrons has been jumped. And next of the scenario of the case, these electrons in the metastable state also they are going to be cannot be stable for longer time when compared with the E3 state. It going to be more stable on this E2 when comparison, but here also they cannot be stable for longer time. Once again they have to jump from E2 state to E3. And when it occurs is that when there are going to be exist of population inversion. What is a population inversion? Is in the lower energy level having less number of electrons when compared with the metastable state. This will be the called as metastable state. We assume the 4 electrons. At that time having the energy level of in this case lower energy level is only 1 electron, but metastable state is having 3 electrons. This is known as a population inversion. Here the less and more has been there, that's why it will be called as a population inversion mechanism. Then at that time these electrons cannot be stable at this position of metastable state. They have to jump from this energy level to the E1 energy level by releasing the energy. How in this case is going to be release the energy in terms of a light. If you observe, it is not jumping only one electron, so many number of electrons, whatever the population inversion has been existing, the metastable state having more number of electrons, so that the light will be more when they are jumping from higher energy levels to the lower energy level. And when they are jumping from E2 state, metastable state, to the lower energy level by releasing the energy of photonic energy, that energy we are going to call as a light energy, has been there going to be have with respect to the photonic type of thing. They are going to release that light energy has been emitting by the laser of material. In this case, we are going to say that mainly whenever the population inversion going to be exist, at that time only the phenomena is going to be exist, nothing but the n1 electrons, and if I assume the metastable state electrons are n2, whenever the case of n2 is greater than n1, that we are going to call it as a population inversion. When existing of the population inversion of the metastable state, electrons cannot be stable. At that state, they are going to jump from higher energy levels to the lower energy level by releasing the energy of photonic energy, that we are going to call it as a light. Since more number are going to be released, the energy, or it can be called as a stimulated emission of the thing. The emission is going to be a stimulation process. That's why the laser is going to be called as a light amplification, stimulated emission of radiation. It is going to emission of photons. So photons are emitted with the wavelength. What will be the wavelength is going to be emitted by lasers are 8,200 angstroms to 9,000 of angstrom in the IR region. Mainly the lasers will release energy or light energy in terms of IR region only. And if you observe, this will be the semiconductor structure of a laser. How we are going to use that? We are using the p-type and n-types of gallium arsenide of the material. And since p-type and n-types, when we have joined, there existing a junction. Whenever the junction has been formed, we have to go for the supplication of energy supply. We have to go give the energy for a power supply in order to move the electrons from p-type to n-type, and holes from p-type to n-type, and electrons from n-type to p-type by giving the power supply when it is going to be forward biased. So P has been connected to p-type and has been connected to n-type. So at that time, the energy is going to be like external energy has been there, there existing a population inversion, all whatever we have discussed internally, this will happen with respect to the semiconductor material. Internally this will occur like you are supplying external energy, the electrons are going to be acquire lower energy level, acquires energy, they are going to jump to the higher energy level. They cannot be stable, they will come to the metastable state. When there existing a population inversion, once again they will jump to the lower energy level by releasing photonic energy. That photonic energy we are going to be called as a laser. So this gives the output as being with respect to a light emitting of the thing has been a light amplification process. So what are the advantages of laser is having? It is a high speed carrier and it is having the higher bandwidth, generation of narrow pulses for high bit rates, and increased security when working with narrow beams. Disadvantages of laser has affected by bad weather, it cannot work for longer time, and laser can affect the eyes, and it is highly expensive also. Thank you.